In this video, let's talk about what are the props. So, what's the concept of props, right? So, in the previous video, we just talked about what is component, right? So, and then we displayed what is component and how it renders the UI elements, right? So, in this video, basically the props concept. So, like component is built on top of the functional concept. A function can take arguments, right? So now component can also take arguments. Those arguments we're calling them as props. So in this case, home is a functional component, right? It is just a function. It can take arguments. So what we're calling them? We're calling them as props. Blindly name them as props, right? Since we're getting those arguments, we can use those arguments. So let's say from props, props is an object actually. So it comes as an object. So let's say we wanted to display heading on the home page, right? So let's compose this button and the header on the div. So you can put that into both of them into div, so that we can return single element from the function, right? So put that back here, and then what we can do, we can return div, right? We can return div. So since we're getting these props, it can have some keys there we can use, right? That's the whole point. So somebody is passing those values to the home component. Let's say they're passing header as a key, right? So we can put that. Since you're putting the code in the HTML, we need to put that in the curly braces, in between the curly braces, right? Props dot let's say they're passing header, okay, right? So function is defined. Somebody is passing the arguments. We are expecting header as a key in the object, and then we're using that. Okay, now nothing changed, right? Even if you re-render that, nothing changed. It's just displaying the button. Okay, ideally this should have displayed header here, right? Because it is not getting any value. Who is passing these props? The component which is using this component. For example, home component, right? Who is rendering the home component? In this case, it is app component. App component is rendering home component. So if anyone has to pass value, in this case, app component has to pass those arguments which are called as props. So what we are expecting there, we are expecting header. Okay, so let's pass header, and then we can put some value here. Let's say home, right? See, got the home. How it happened? We are passing props like this. This is the syntax. In the tag, you pass in the form of key equal to value, and for the home component, they come as props like an object. Out of that object, you are calling dot header. You can also do this destructuring. Instead of doing this dot function here, we can directly call header there, and then directly use that header here. So nothing changed, right? So that is the concept of props. So with this concept, you can build whatever you want. So these props can be passed along all the child components. So let's say here we have app, and then this is the child component of app, and we are passing props here. And in the home component, let's say if you have a button, and if that button is a component, and if you want to if that button is using props from its parent, then we can just pass them here, right? That's the whole point of props. It's a very, very powerful concept, and the more you develop, more components that you develop, you run into the situations where you might be passing the props all the way through the child components, and there are some advanced concepts that we can use by not passing the props, but still we can have access to those props. Okay, this is the basic concept of props, and we'll catch up on the next video about the state and how you can manage state within the component, and how props values can be leveraged, and how we can maintain the state within the component. Okay, let's catch up in the next video. See you there. Bye.